Hey there everybody, Professor Cloud here with a new Professor Builds recommendation video. The last one that we just did was for a game called Terra Nil that had been published by Digital Devolver. Very, very chill kind of reverse simulation game where you're bringing a planet back to life. In this game, Station to Station, which has been published by Prismatica Games and developed by Galaxy Grove, we are talking about a train simulation puzzle game. Again, very chill, very low stress, but it is a bit of a puzzle game. It's not tremendously hard to complete. It's tremendously hard to get perfect, which most good puzzle games are. I love the aesthetic of this game. It has this kind of interesting Minecraft / Lego graphical style to it. The soundtrack is absolutely phenomenal, just like Terra Nil's was. I bought the soundtrack separate from the game as well, and have listened to it in my car on my way to the gym. Absolutely phenomenal soundtrack. I played the demo before the game came out, which is what got me interested in it in the first place. It came up on, I believe it was Summer Games Fest last year in 2023. And then when it released in the fall, I made sure to purchase it as quickly as possible. I have not beaten every single puzzle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one of the first ones. They unlock, just like most good puzzle games, they unlock as you complete them. Now, there are certain objectives that you can try and hit to unlock certain sections, and each section is set in a different biome. So you can potentially, for example, clear all of the first section, and that will open up sections 2 and 3, meaning you don't have to go to 2, you can go to 3 if you want to. But you will not be able to go to 4 until you complete some other objectives. So it does expand on from that. From what the developers have been saying and doing, they are very committed to the game. They have made a number of like small holiday updates. They made one for Halloween, they made one for Christmas. They just released a photo mode for the game so that you can take a picture of your entire completion, things along those lines. And I fully expect it, based on what they've been saying, that they're going to add on to the game over time. Now, I don't know if that is going to be free editions or paid DLC. So with that, why don't we go ahead and jump into the game so that you can see for yourself why I really enjoy it and why I think you will too. Okay. So as I said, I've already completed quite a bit. You can see here that I've completed, what's this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 biomes of tracks. But I have not unlocked enough yet. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. I have completed all of the tracks for 1, 2, and 3. I have not completed everything for Flint Hills or Golden Dunes. Because I have not unlocked enough objectives to open up Nugget Creek or Evening Star Valley. As I said, each one of these areas have their own look and feel to them. So this one right here that you're seeing is Greendale. There's Sunforge Sands. And then we've got Riverbend Woods, Flint Hills, Golden Dunes. I don't know if they'll even show us. Yeah, we can't even click on the other two. I'm most interested in seeing Evening Star Valley. I think that one's going to be very interesting. So let's go to the first section, and we can take a look at what this kind of looks like. Maybe we'll try and redo number 3, seeing as I did not get the star challenge. Each set of puzzles comes with, in most instances, a star challenge as well as a fun challenge, meaning, are you going to be able to end the puzzle with a certain amount of money? The star challenge is very specific things, like can you get certain tracks to connect together all at one time? In this particular case, can you make $800 without placing a single freight train? Because there are 2 different kinds of trains. Now, one thing to keep in mind, because I am only going to show you one of the puzzles from Greendale, you're not going to get necessarily every single type of puzzle-related mechanic. Each of the biomes do have their own mechanics, as well as their own look and feel, of course. and they each have their own different resource types. So the different types of resources that we're going to be producing and connecting together in Greendale are not necessarily going to be indicative of ones that you're going to see in Flint Hills or Golden Dunes and so on. And therefore, the mechanics for each of the areas are also different. Also, of course, Greendale is the very first section that everyone will start with, so it is going to obviously be easier and less complicated than some of the others. So as I said, let's go ahead and try and do level 3 again, because I did not get the star challenge. So our goal is to complete all 14 buildings. We have a fun challenge to end the level of at least 500. I've already completed that. Complete the level without creating more than 2,000 meters of track. That was the one that I did not do, and I don't remember how far off I was when I first did this, but let's go ahead and play. So here is our map. You start out completely put in. We then can scroll all the way down, zoom all the way in, and we can, of course, rotate and move all with the mouse button. You can also do it with WASD as well, but I tend to go back and forth. Now, the whole point of these puzzles is to connect tracks from building to building. Now, you are not necessarily going to get every single building available to you at the very beginning. In fact, if you'll look here, I only have 2 buildings. I have a wheat farm that produces wheat and a mill that will produce flour, but it needs wheat. So I'm going to need to get track from the wheat to the mill at the very beginning. So all that we need to do is click down here to create a new station. We're going to need to put a station at each one of these buildings so that we can connect them via a track. The other thing to keep in mind is that track costs money. The stations, the buildings cost money. And the track will cost more money if it has to go up an incline like this. Sorry, not an incline, a mountain. This is a flat face. It means it needs to create a ramped track rather than a flat track. So let's go ahead and make this as easy as possible. Now, here's the other thing to keep in mind. The map does at least let us know that there are buildings underway. Under construction bakery, under construction city. And these don't show up until we've collected at least $70. We will unlock new buildings at $70 of revenue. And the revenue gets generated when the track connects 2 buildings or more together to produce something else. So right now we're only producing wheat. If we want to produce flour, we need to connect the 2 buildings together. Let's go ahead and drop a track, and as you can see, it has a bubble that it needs to be near. Now, the one thing to keep in mind here is we want to make sure that it's within range of the building so that it can easily go up the incline and not have to create a incline track or a raised track, but also be able to connect to the next building, the bakery, which, as we can see, is right there under construction. We know we're going to have to get there eventually. So let's go ahead and put the building out here. You also have the ability to rotate the stations to make it easier for your tracks to get places. So I'm going to try and go this way. And then I'm going to put another one up here. We've got a building over here that we know is going to get raised, so I want to get it close to that. All right, there we go. Now we just need to run track. The easiest thing is to start from one end of the station and take it right there. Now, if you see, if I go straight, it's going to put in raised track, and that's going to be an extra $57 on top of the $76 it costs to flatten, for a total of $133. Whereas if we go, you can click along to make it turn. So we're going to click, and then run it right there in the middle. So $98. I was able to save it by 3. Now, you always have the ability to back up just by right-clicking. Each segment can be removed. What I'm going to do is I want to run it a little bit closer to here so that there's room for the outside track to run as well. and I was able to save an extra $4. Excellent. Now, we've got it connected. We now need to get the wheat to the flour mill. All we have to do is click freight train. The track will get implemented, and we're good to go. We now have wheat coming to the mill, and that's going to produce flour. We've got flour ready to go to the bakery. We've got cheesery over here. We've got a city here. Huh. Oh, I actually messed up. Apparently, my bubble for this station did not connect the mill. So, I'm going to restart the level. It's actually good because it shows you how easy it is to mess things up. You really have to make sure that the stations are in each bubble. Alright, so let's do this again. And I'm going to make sure to do the same thing. Okay. Yeah, okay. It really is very tight. Alright, so we'll put it there. And then... yeah, there. Okay, now we know for a fact that the wheat will flow. Because the game is telling us. And, hey, guess what? I actually saved another $9 from the last time. There we go. So we made $70. We now have new buildings to unlock. And as you can see, and this is one of my favorite parts of this game, when you do complete a connection, it colors the map for you. Now, the maps are already beautiful, but that just makes it so much more interesting, in my opinion. Alright, so we got some buildings. We've now got our bakery. That's only one additional building. Obviously, in more complicated future levels, you're going to get 3, 4, 5 buildings that will unlock at a time, making your decision-making around how to connect them a lot more complicated, or a lot harder. Okay, indirect connections. To save on railroad costs, this bakery can receive flour indirectly via the station at the wheat farm since it is already connected to a mill. That means that all I need to do is connect this bakery to this station, and it will receive flour from the mill. So let's go ahead and do that, knowing that we've got a cheesery down here that we'll probably want to connect to as well, and then the city, everything's going to need to eventually flow to the city. So let's go ahead and put in, and I'm going to do the same thing like I did and get it facing towards the cheesery. Okay. And then we'll go interior. There we go. Nice and simple. And we've unlocked this area. Now nice and beautifully colored. Next set of buildings. Okay. Connect the dairy farm and cheesery to the network 2. Resources can indirectly travel again. So all we need to do is connect the dairy farm to the mill and the cheesery to the bakery. So let's see. The best thing I can do here, I think, is right there. And again, I'm going to go interior. There we go. And then we'll do... now, my concern with this station may be an endpoint station, because anything beyond here is going to be big, huge drops, and it's going to cost a lot of money. And remember, we need to have $500 to hit the fun challenge. Let's do that. And we'll do interior again. There we go. Cheesery now receives milk from the dairy farm because they are connected to the same network. And we've unlocked fish and the city. Now connect the fishing docks and city to the network to supply everything to the city at once. Let's see. Again, I want to make sure that the connections are going to flow well. Okay. And then... Now this is the interesting one because you don't necessarily know at the beginning if you're going to need to connect the city to multiple things. Alright, we put it there. And there we go. And everything is now coming into the city. And we got a stack bonus because we were able to send multiple goods at the same time. And what a beautiful area we now have. Let's go down here and take a look here. There's our wheat farm. There's our mill. We've got the cows running around in their fields for the dairy farm. You can see the cheese being made in the cheesery. Fishermen apparently are in. They're not out doing any fishing at the moment. And then everything flowing into the city. With apparently, much like my own town, there's a church circle. So very, very cool. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next section of the map. So this one, it's do it all on your own. No leading by the nose or anything like that. With this many new buildings, it's going to be hard to maintain a good overview. Press tab to view incompleted buildings. There we go. So you can see what needs what. And that anytime it's showing an exclamation point, it means that it's not connecting to be able to, send things different places. You'll notice here as well that we now have a dairy farm that needs to go to both the city as well as the cheesery. So there's multiple connections there. And then you can also see the productions as well. So in this particular case, we need the flour to create the bread. We need the wheat to create the flour, and so on. And of course, all of it needs to come back into the city. So let's go ahead and get started. I think the easiest thing is to start, in this case, to start from the end, so we can start here at the fishery. And remember, we do have tracks for our different challenges. Our fun challenge, we need to finish the level with at least 500. We're currently at 899. If I do this right, and I stack everything at one time, just like I did in the first city, then that's going to be a huge bonus at the end. But we also need to be under 2,000 meters in track. Right now we're at 812, so we've got a little bit of give in this section. So again, let's start here with the fishery. That one's out at one end, and I'm going to put it out as far away possible. Reduce the track distance. Okay. And then next is the wheat farm. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run fish to wheat to dairy to mill first. Then we'll go from there. Alright, and this time I'm going to run outside lines. The reasoning for that is so that I can run up this hill if necessary. Or I know I will need to do that. Alright, so that's one end. Let's go up here to you. Now this is the one that's going to be a bit tough. Because it's got to go down the hill, connect to the dairy farm. Okay. And then connect you to you. You'll notice I was really paying attention to that tree. In future levels, removing a tree costs you money. So it's important to pay attention to those kinds of things early on. Oh, nope, that's not what I wanted. Should be able to go straight there. Okay. Okay, so we've now got wheat getting to the mill. Now we need to get milk to the cheesery and the bakery. So let's first start with the bakery. You're out here on the end. Again, I'm going to get the stations far away. Now this one's going to be the tough one because I'm going to need to get track to come down here, down and around, while also getting the track to there. Actually, you know what? Let me do this. Okay, I think that's good. Okay. We're at 1378 in meters. Alright, now this one's going to be the tough one. Okay. Nice stack bonus for that. That puts us at 491. We've still got a little under 400, or a little under 300, a little over 300. Wow, I'm sorry. My math on this weekend day is not working well for me. Okay, the last thing I need to do is connect all this to the city. And that's actually going to be fairly straightforward. And short. Bingo! And we got the fun bonus and the track bonus all in the same level. Press the button in the bottom right hand corner once you're ready to go to the next level. And that's all that this game is. Now, obviously, as I said, this is the early section of the game. I wanted to show this from a demonstration perspective. I love this game. The music in the background is such a chill vibe. The puzzles, don't get me wrong, they get a little bit complicated if you're trying to meet those challenges. But if you're just trying to connect and set up now you'll get passengers as well in the future section. So, if you're just trying to get passengers from point A to point B, or you're trying to get this good from point A to point B, that is so very chill and easy. Not easy, but it is something that's fairly doable for anybody to accomplish. Now, if you're trying to hit these challenges, they're going to be a little bit tougher. It also depends upon how much time you want to give. But I think this is one of the coolest puzzle builder games out there. It is currently sitting at $18 on Steam. I think it is worth every single penny. There are a total of about 40 puzzles so far. As I said, I do believe that the developers are looking at ways to add additional content. The one thing I really found this fun was during the holiday event, they turned the train into Choo Choo Charlie, which is a horror game based on a train. So that was really, really cool to see as you were playing throughout the game. I thought that was a lot of fun. And then, of course, they also did some decorations for the Christmas holidays as well, the winter holidays. I think this game is absolutely phenomenal. I think everyone that is in a builder mindset should be interested in playing this game, even if they don't really work all that hard for the challenges. The game overall is a lot of fun, very chill. The music is phenomenal, and the Galaxy Grove should absolutely be very proud of themselves for the game that they've put together. Again, this is Professor Cloud recommending Station to Station, and hopefully, if you are enjoying the content, please make sure to hit the like button, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.